So we're going to go over the word mob. The reason we're going over the word mob is because the story I'm going to go over with you from CNN is seriously all built on the word mob. But here we go. What is a mob? A large crowd of people, especially one that is disorderly and intent on causing trouble or violence. Pretty straightforward. Is anyone really questioning what a mob is? I don't think so. Call me crazy, but I really don't think anyone actually questions that. But apparently CNN does. And here's CNN. This headline came out on the 25th, but here's CNN.
Highlighted this comment from Kentucky's Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron.
Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge.
It was a deliberate and unmistakable choice of words. Of course, he should plead for peace in Louisville, but he wasn't doing just that.
Okay, we're going to stop it right there because she's about to add context and put a narrative to it. But I'm going to ask you right now, what did he say that was divisive? He didn't say a single thing that was divisive. Per the definition that we just went over in the beginning of this video, mob violence is not justice. It makes sense per the definition. But now she's going to add context, saying that he was deliberately trying to be divisive. And just take a look.
He was using a divisive phrase that we've heard many times recently as the president attacks people of color and peaceful protesters and lumps them in with rioters.
If Biden wins, the mob wins. If Biden wins, the rioters, anarchists, arsonists, and flag burners, they win. If Biden wins, the violent mobs, you see these mobs all over the place. They're Biden people. They're Biden states and cities. They're Democrat states. If they win, the mobs win. You see these guys, they go around saying, yeah, I want your meal. Give me that food. We are all that stand between the American people and the left-wing mob.
The Attorney General's purposeful use of that Trump talking point while his city...
That Trump talking point, tell me what you heard from what the AG said to everything she just played of Trump that was divisive. The only thing that was in common was a mob. Mob, 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 mob. Per the definition of a mob, there are mobs out there. Per the definition of a mob, the AG was warning against mobs. Why was he warning against mobs? Because they knew once the public found out what the what the grand jury decided, they were going to go out there, riot, protest, destroy things. Mobs destroy things. So what's the problem here? One thing that they do, but outside of just adding context, if they throw Trump's name in there, considering a lot of people that do watch CNN already hate Trump. So, of course, they're going to hear Trump's divisive talk, and then associate AG with Trump's divisive talk. And then that cancels the AG. Everyone hates the AG now because anyone that does anything with Trump is a racist, evil, just whatever they add on to the title of any person that is associated with Trump, which she just associated the AG with Trump. And that's why she did it. She's trying to just discount everything that happens in this country that can go against Trump. And now they're taking the word mob and saying that it's divisive speech or talking points. There are mobs out there. What the hell is the problem with acknowledging that? I don't understand. But the main point of this entire story was she's upset and has to fire back at Kayleigh McEnany because of what she said in her last press release. Let's take a look.
Fox News primetime shows are just a propaganda arm of this administration.
The Attorney General Daniel Cameron said if we...
The press secretary left no doubt that Fox News primetime shows are just a propaganda arm of this administration.
So I just got to throw this in there. She left no doubt that Fox News is a propaganda arm of this administration. She doesn't say anything about that. I watched it. She doesn't. they're planting their narrative, everything inside of your head. That way you already are discounting anything that she has to say. They're trying to get you to hate Fox News, which if you watch this whole video, she goes into Tucker Carlson and how Fox News admits that like most people don't take him seriously. And realistically, if you listen to any news outlet 100%, you got a problem and you need to stop. Everyone's going to lie to you because even the news works the same way as YouTube. Everyone wants views. So do your own research. Let's go and keep going.
The Attorney General Daniel Cameron said, if we simply act on emotion or outrage, there is no justice. Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge. And you can try.
So there we go. Mob justice is not justice. Once again, nothing divisive. I'm pretty legit, straightforward.
His message with that of CNN's Breonna Keeler, who said, I question the judgment of the Kentucky Attorney General saying that mob justice is not justice. We know that this is very loaded language.
So she's questioning everything about using the word mob. There's something wrong with it. You shouldn't be saying it. I question his judgment using divisive talk, using the word mob. It fits the definition and we don't want mobs. So what the hell's the problem? But what does Breonna Keeler do? She takes offense to this, saying at no point did I call for violence. Take a look.
It's an appalling statement from Breonna Keeler at CNN. And what is outrageous about this take is that mob justice is not justice. Hours later, after this comment was made on CNN, 2 police officers were shot.
That's all she said. She didn't say anyone called for violence. She did not lie that someone called for violence. She just quoted what she said. Because she is, and the videos I've already shown you before, is standing up against using the word mob, associating it with Trump, saying it's divisive talk, divisive talking points, speech, whatever you want to call it. She is standing up against it. And she even did a segment before about it. So she is standing up against using it. She slammed the AG, even in this video, about using the word mob. Let's see what she has to say.
At no time did I suggest that violence is justice. And I can't believe I even have to explain that.
At no point did Kayleigh McEnany just say that she called for violence or said that violence is justice. But I hate to do this, but because this is kind of adding my own context to it. But if you're standing up against the word mob, saying that they are peaceful protesters and ignoring that there are mobs out there, then yes, you are standing up for violence. She is standing up for violence if you're deciding to blatantly ignore mobs and people talking about mobs and calling against violence and the violent mobs. She played an entire thing about Trump talking about it. She is standing up against the word mob and mobs in general and calling them mobs. She wants them out there and she wants anyone that's using the word mob to be taken down and shouldn't use it. But now she's offended when someone calls her out on it. If you found value in this content, like always, please like, comment, and subscribe.